I think in
Senator
this
Frank
particular
Uggan
case,
is the
Mona, I
chairman of
think
the
one of
committee
things
which
that
is
I want to
handling Bill
encourage
185, and he says with all the input the measure is getting from all sides, it's more than deserving of legislative attention.
because of the extensive involvement of our people, we really should entertain this measure on the floor. Whether in fact it gets the votes or it doesn't get the votes, this is a community issue that has a tremendous amount of interest. And to let it, someone hinted at the possibility of letting it die in my committee, and I have no intentions, and I'm hopeful that the votes will be sufficient to get it onto the agenda come November. But I think it's really an issue that we need to be able to discuss extensively on the floor and allow the votes to be cast wherever they are, regardless as to whether in fact it garners sufficient votes.
The measure was initially introduced seeking to authorize same-sex marriages, but has been rewritten and amended in such a way as to not offend those opposed to the use of the word marriage, and now terms the union as a civil union. As it's written now, Senator Uggan says it's a measure that he can support.
As I saw the bill evolve from Bill 138, which would have allowed for civil unions to be recognized in marriage, to where it is at 185, which now would provide mutually shared benefits to individuals of the same sex gender, that based on the mutually shared benefits component, that I am supportive of that concept.
Uggan says he's heard both supporting and opposing views on the measure, and also has taken into consideration recent events which have surfaced regarding this bill.
From my position as a committee chair, my obligation is to look at Bill number 185, to look at Bill 158, and to look at Bill 212, and in their respective, based on their respective merits, to allow for them to be reported out to the Legislative Committee on Rules so that they can entertain it in session.
The controversial bill was introduced by the Guam Youth Congress, which continues to advocate for the civil rights of homosexuals who do not get the same benefits as heterosexual couples. Youth Speaker Derek Hills continuing to challenge the opposition from the Archbishop Anthony Apparon.
Is that he's gone adrift on the whole core of the subject. And when we talk about homosexuality, you're talking about the educational forums that need to be done in terms of educating the people. When he had this meeting this morning, he was supposed to discuss with the senators about compromising a way of not putting legislation which is akin to marriage, which domestic partnership really isn't akin to marriage. It's a social contract between two individuals, a civil contract.
Meanwhile, senators of the Guam legislature were called into a meeting with the Archbishop this morning, and most agree it was an emotional yet fruitful meeting.
And I think it's very important that the community as a whole continue to work together. There are 4 bills that this policy-making body has created, and in order for the community to win, they've got to be able to engage and work with everybody together at one table at one time. I think it's important. We can agree to disagree, but in the ultimate end is that we need to work together.
And I think it's important, rather than either from the pulpit or from listening to the media, it's important that we all get together and resolve these issues.